Well, praise the Lord, everybody. Welcome to On Point, the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, coming to you live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. We understand there was a little problem with our Facebook feed today, so we want you to go to our YouTube. If you've gone to Facebook and you're struggling with us, getting us, a link is about to be established at Facebook. Is that right, Pastor Nick?
We're going to put the link on all pages.
Link on all the pages so you can join us on YouTube this morning, and we'll broadcast live on YouTube. That may be a first for some of you, and some of you may be used to doing it. I've never seen us live on YouTube, probably because I'm doing the show at the time it comes on. But the reality is that today we're going to be YouTube focused, and you can get there by going to our Facebook page and hitting the link, and the link will take you directly to our YouTube site, because that's where On Point will be broadcast from for the next hour or until we get the Facebook situation straightened up. 1-866-743 8267 1-866-743-8267 1-866-743-8267. Give us a call. We'd love to hear what you have to say. On Point, for our new viewers today, listeners also, On Point is the number one Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, meaning that we touch a variety of subjects, but always from a kingdom point of view. Variety of subjects, but always scriptural. And the basis of our answers and our understanding and our wisdom will always have a God base. So we want you to give us a call. We talk about a variety of subjects. Of course, politics is one of the main concerns of most people today. But the Super Bowl is coming up tomorrow, so that's a major concern for some other people. I was going to try to get Chris on the phone with us this morning, see if he could get Mahomes to talk to us for a few minutes, but I'm having trouble getting him. So things are hot right now.
They're interviewing him like crazy. I think like every
day.
Who,
Mahomes?
Yeah, they have the whole week is all interviews and practice.
They got that. What do they call it? That not broadcast week, but publicity.
Publicity. Yeah.
But I was communicating with his agent about a week ago.
Okay.
And he says things have really been in a flurry, especially since he negotiated that $500 million contract for that young man. So right now my friend is he's a real hot item in the sports agent.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
And I'm believing that he's going to get some major clients from this across the board.
Yeah.
But Chris is a saved young man and real cool. But he knows his business.
He does. He's cool.
Yeah, he's been my entertainment lawyer for, man,
it's been a minute.
25 years maybe.
Wow.
He was an intern when I met him.
Okay.
Yeah, he was working for nothing when he first started working for Lloyd over in Philly, and then the more I interacted with him, and so now he's based in California, in Kansas City.
Okay.
And he's making quite a splash in the sports agent arena.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a good old boys club.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's hard to get into.
Yeah, for him to break in and be so young.
Yeah.
Because Chris is in his 30s.
Okay.
And he's moving and shaking.
Yeah.
So.
But that's why they got an issue with LeBron's agent.
Oh, yeah.
Because LeBron got his own team.
Yeah.
And they're mad at his agent, because he brought a black guy in that's not in that club.
Yep. They don't know him.
And now these other players are starting to go to LeBron's agent. But
because he's getting the money.
Yeah.
But I believe some of these quarterbacks are going to start going to Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Because that Mahomes contract is the biggest ever, right?
It's the biggest ever year. 10 years. Most people don't sign that long, but I guess if you're going to get paid that much money.
And he's young.
And you're young. And Mahomes seems kind of a steady guy.
He is.
He doesn't want to go.
Christian.
Yeah.
Loves the Lord. I know his pastor. Got a strong pastor, goes to a strong church. And he's just, he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the world's going to be watching him tomorrow.
Yep.
And I kind of believe he's going to respond favorably to the pressure.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to win.
I want them to win.
If their offense is clicking.
I want them to win.
Me too. But the Buccaneers defense. See, Brady doesn't have to play well in his older age.
That's unfortunate.
Because the defense in their run game is so good.
Okay.
He just has to do what he needs to do.
Okay.
And they're good.
How are the safeties and all for Kansas City?
Well, they got the Honey Badgers, so they're good on that side.
Okay.
But they're used to their offense chugging.
Okay.
And once that thing gets rolling, it's an issue.
They're going to go after him. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to try to just make him. They're going to try to upset his rhythm.
Mm-hmm. But see, that's the thing. Mahomes, he has that to be so young and to not be shaken.
He's cool.
That's rare to see.
He's cool.
You look at his eyes, and he's never really worried.
But he's steady, man. If you look at his life, you know, I mean, when some guys, you know, they say praise Jesus, and you know they've been to church like twice in their life. but this guy comes from a strong Bible teaching church.
Okay.
And he's been he's been with his girlfriend since they were high school, and you know, Chris is the kind of young guy that his agent is the kind of young guy who understands the culture, but also can tell him, look, that's not what you need to do. We need to do this. Yeah. And I'm sure he can relate to Chris because they're both young guys. Yeah.
I didn't realize Chris was that young in his 30s.
He's in his 30s, man. He's probably about 38, 39.
So he's about my age then. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But he's been doing this thing since he was freshman in college, maybe even before that.
Wow.
You know, so he's as soon as he gets out of this football season, he's going to introduce me to William Morris and those people. That's one of the oldest personality agencies in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
A lot of cool people there. So we're going to see.
Relationships make the world go round, as they say.
Man, I tell you,
as they say.
The whole world drives on them. 866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. We're going to take one of our famous On Point polls today as we talk about other things. Of course, my world famous co-host, Reverend Nicholas Smith, is here. He's got an Adidas jersey on. We need to start getting some advertising dollars, and we're going to wear these brands. I really do believe it.
Yeah.
If we're going to, we got to start make sure our audience can be accounted for. Probably need to take a census and see what we got going on here. Let them know. Look, we'll wear your stuff, put your coffee cup right up here, and everything else. You know,
make some little
ching ching.
Right.
No. So we are really glad you joined us today. Of course, we're going to talk about politics and religion and faith, and of course, going to have one of our world famous On Point polls. We want you to pick your pick for the Super Bowl winner. Now, we won't do the points because we don't want you tempted to go bet on the game, but just pick a winner. It's either going to be the Buccaneers. Did you ever think you'd hear the Buccaneers name in the Super Bowl?
Since they only won the one time in 2008, I think.
It's been a long time, man. And then, Brady comes down, they build a nice team around him. And I think he's got some motivation this year, too, because I think he's trying to show Belichick and New England, you shouldn't have let me go, man.
He is.
I was surprised Belichick let him go, though. What happened?
They wanted to let him go. He wanted to let him go years ago because he wanted to get a younger quarterback in to keep everything going rather than have to do a rebuild.
But are they struggling now?
Oh, yeah, they struggled this year. So that's why he wanted to replace Brady while the team was strong.
Okay.
But Kraft was like, no, that's my guy. Okay. So Brady stayed.
They need a bunch of pieces now, right?
Yeah, he needed a few pieces, yeah.
He'll get them during the offseason.
Come on,
man. He'll get these 6 guys that nobody knows that can play football, work in this system, and they'll become superstars and all pros, just because they're in New England.
Yeah, he's an evil. I would say an evil genius.
Yeah,
but
he's got something going on there.
Yeah.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Give us a call. Let us know who your choice, your pick for the Super Bowl tomorrow, as well as I see that. Help me understand something, Pastor Nick. Now, I remember when the leader of the Republican Party said at the beginning of Obama's presidency, and I saw the press conference, Balmer.
Yep.
I saw the press conference when he said, I'm paraphrasing now, but the main point was this: we're going to block everything he tries to do. Mm-hmm. And most people look at the things that President Obama was not able to accomplish as him not wanting to accomplish them. When the Republicans had the majority, I think for the entire time he was in office.
The last 6. I think
last 6 years.
The first 2 years.
Yeah, and when they got that majority, they decided they were going to block, what do they call that, when you block legislation?
Filibuster and all that?
No, but that was something obstruct.
Obstruction,
yeah. They were going to obstruct everything, and so it was almost impossible for him to get things done. And then, we come into this year, and they're still obstructionists. Can't get things done. So you're looking at maybe 4, 8, 10 years where they have blocked everything possible.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can be an obstructionist for 10 years, do things that are divisive, and now that you're out of office, you start screaming for unity.
Yep.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I think the Democrats ought to play hardball.
Yep.
I think they need to do what they need to do, because the Republicans have shown for the last 10 years they are not interested. They're interested in name only and being unified.
Yep.
And I don't get it. How do you do the things and say, it's like this woman that what's Green or whatever her name
Marjorie
is.
Green. Yeah, her.
How's she going to talk about unifying the country?
Right. Thank you. And she's got all these
because it didn't work out.
Yeah. And unity based off of what principles? Like what, unity on your terms, which is obviously what they're saying.
Yeah, well, unity on their terms means don't hold us responsible for anything that we did, and let everything that we did for the last 10 years go. And that's no.
And the crazy thing, for the past 4 years, they kept saying, y'all stop playing a victim, stop being snowflakes, stop complaining. And what are they doing now? Being a victim, complaining.
It's disgusting. So all your plots didn't work. I mean, shutting down voting stations, moving voting stations an hour away from people's homes. I mean, everything. The post office. I mean, everything. Nothing worked.
Yep.
So now, anything you do to hold us responsible is going to be a disunifying factor in the nation now. Boy.
That's the thing. Like, come on. But their base, I still think they're appealing part to their base, because their hope is that when 2 years comes back around, when they do another congressional vote, they'll get some more people in.
All right, here's the thing, though, and I might be totally whacked on this. Based upon the numbers, their tactic of trying to hold on to this base doesn't work according to the numbers.
Right.
When numbers of votes, their base is a minority, and it's not going to work. If they do something really stupid and split off to another party,
it's going to be a wrap for them.
It's going to be a wrap for a long time.
Yeah, it is. And that's what they're going to do. And I think Trump is going to try to divide the country. Divide the party.
He's going to divide the party. He's already done that.
Yeah, and he's going to really dig in now.
But I do have to say that those guys, there's this young guy, Kessinger, who is saying, no, we're headed in the wrong direction. And the reason they won't mess with him is he's some kind of Green Beret combat veteran or something.
Okay.
So, they talk about him, but they don't talk about him to his face.
Yeah.
Because he really, he walks and talks and stands like an individual that can take care of himself.
Okay.
And I think that once you've been in combat, you have a different kind of persona about yourself.
Yeah.
I think I've been watching the evangelicals this week and the last week, and some of the guys that I know pretty well are really just kind of, they're hanging themselves all over again. Rather than just say, I didn't hear the Lord correctly.
Yep.
Because if they'd heard the Lord correctly, President Trump would still be. The machinations of men could not outmaneuver God.
Right.
So just say I heard him wrong.
Yep.
My political aspirations drove my prophetic voice. And let it go, but don't keep digging this hole. Some guys I've known 20 years are digging holes for themselves like nobody's business.
Yeah. Now they're trying to say that Trump, there's two presidents.
Two?
Yes. Biden is in office, but Trump is the real president because it was stolen. So, Trump is the real deal president now, spiritually, I guess. And their hope is that they're now trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't re-election this time, but in 4 years, Trump can run again.
That's not what they said.
Exactly. That's not what they said.
That's not what the guys that I know said. It was even after the results were in, the Lord's going to turn this around.
Absolutely.
And there'll be no inauguration. I heard all that stuff. I was embarrassed for them.
Yep. And I just started learning more about this theological cultural world they're in. This whole dominionism and thing called theonomy and
Mm-hmm.
almost like Handmaid's Tales.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so anti-Jesus.
It is in principle.
In principle.
It is.
When Jesus wanted to change the world, he did it from the people up.
Yep.
He didn't go in the government seats and make people become Christians. That's what happened in Rome, and that's when actually Christianity started getting all jacked up.
Is there any
You know?
is there any ambiguity in? And you know, we need to talk about this at some point. Why do Christians tell the world you can't tell me where to go to church?
Mm-hmm.
But some segments of the Christian population want to tell you how to live your life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can't tell me where to go to church.
Right.
And if you do that, I'm going to start screaming.
Yeah.
But some Christians think it's their right to tell people to live the way they believe.
Exactly.
Is that, am I
No, you're on it.
okay? I don't get us at times.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when, I remember when I was in banking and, you know, you go out to a lot of dinners and stuff. And at one point I got tired of asking, why don't I drink? Why don't I drink? Why don't I drink? Because I realized my not drinking was making the drinkers uncomfortable.
Right.
And I had it. I had been told I wasn't going to get promoted because I wouldn't cocktail at the cocktail hour and hang out at night. And one day they asked me again. And I said, I don't tell you what to do with your money.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to tell me what to do with mine.
Yep.
So I wasn't sitting there preaching to them, you guys shouldn't be drinking.
Mm-hmm.
But don't start preaching to me that I should be.
Right. Right.
It was amazing. And that backed them off me forever.
Yeah. To me, legislation is good when necessary, but it can't change the heart.
No,
You know, you can put every Christian
it's not supposed to.
rule in place. It's not going to change somebody's heart. They're still going to do what they got to do.
No.
Considering the fact that some of these people that want this legislation, we actually took a view into their personal life, are doing some stuff they're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And
There's no
I mean,
doubt about it.
Come on. I mean, just
I mean, how's a Christian, the conservative guys that I know, how did they get behind this lady from Georgia?
yeah.
I you know, but they don't see the contradiction. Which means, like you say, that Jesus has been moved out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Because you threaten to kill people. That's not biblical nowhere.
Nowhere.
I mean, you can't find it.
No, it's not. It's not. And they're trying to me, it's all about power with them.
Okay.
I mean, the more I study this whole thing, the dominionism, the theonomies, this thing called the Seven Mountains and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm talking about, and all that stuff. It's just like it literally reminds me of Handmaid's Tales. That's what it reminds me of.
It is proof texting on steroids.
Yep.
It really is. Let me find something to support my point of view in Scripture, and if I can find something that remotely resembles what I'm believing, that's got to be God.
Yep. Yep. And it's all about power, taking over the world for Jesus. And it's like not like the way you're doing
But
it.
it's not taking over the world for Jesus. It's taking over the world for us.
For us, yes.
You know, because I don't understand how you hate prosperity preachers, but your ministries scream of prosperity. You can't tell me you don't believe in prosperity and you can raise $100 million in 6 months. You can't tell me that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Their thing is they just do it differently.
Well, how they do it?
See, they get on, charismatics and people for the seed offerings and stuff.
They raise offerings too.
They raise offerings too. They just do it differently. Mm-hmm. And they want power and prosperity and all that stuff like anybody else.
What they do is they got 100 millionaires in the church.
Mm-hmm.
They have meetings with each one of those millionaires. We need your help.
Yep.
What can we rely on from you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, these are the areas of giving. 1 million, $500,000, 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, anything in that range. Well, if you got 100 guys that are multimillionaires and you're asking each of them for at least $1 million, you're going to get the money. And then you got your regular people in the church.
Yep.
So that may not be millionaires, but they're working every day hard as they can. They're biblical givers. So it's approach does not. Here's the thing: the seed approach is a biblical approach. Mm-hmm. The faith approach is what they don't like is the emotion attached to it. Mm-hmm. But they're appealing to an emotion also when you're going to someone who's very wealthy You're appealing to their compassion. You're appealing to their sense of mission. You're appealing to all of that.
They want power. When I went around them and they start talking about salaries and how much they want to make and I'm like, oh, but y'all get on everybody else about
Did
about
they?
money. And y'all complain about money just like other people.
They talked about the package too?
Yes.
Get out of town.
Yes.
They give the impression that it's almost a sin to bring up a dollar.
I'm doing this because I'm serving the Lord and But they worried about their package just as much as anybody else. I'm like, come on.
What's the contract say?
What's the contract say? Because a lot of them, they'll call somebody a pastor,
Right.
but they bring somebody from the business world in to be the administrative person.
Okay.
You have to be gifted to teach,
Okay.
in some capacity.
Okay.
But they'll call you a pastor if you're administrative, teach every now and then.
Okay.
Somebody from the business world, they worried about their money too.
So they really are. They have a operations officer, somewhere,
Yes.
chief executive, financial officer,
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. 1-866-743-8267. 1-866-743-8267. Give us a call. Lines are lighting up. What do you think of the relief package? I'm amazed that became political, because certainly there are at least as many Republican people suffering under the same pandemic with the same results. The unemployment is, it can't be all Democrats. And it can't be all, my problem is, how do you scream of 1.9 trillion going to needy people? Well, I understand. I'm getting ready to answer my question. But you had absolutely no problem giving 1.2 trillion to 600 Americans who supposedly were going to stimulate the economy. They started laying people off.
Absolutely. Made billions of dollars in just a year's time. Crazy amounts of money.
Based upon that. And the problem is that most people in the midst of this, where we are right now, did not see the benefit of that.
Yep.
Only the people that were in the 600.
And then we're stuck to pay for.
Of course. And the low income and the medium income people have to pay it for it. But
I wonder sometimes it's because they're not making any money off it. So they'll give the military $1 trillion for stuff they don't need.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm sure they got some investments in
Yeah.
some of these companies that make these things.
Yeah.
Versus this, you just giving money to people.
Yeah. Well, they think that social programs. Now, here's the problem. You got this thing called Social Security. You got this thing called Medicare.
Yeah.
Those are programs for people. They actually call that socialism. So anything helping people is socialism. That's how they branded it.
Yep.
And if people are not thinking people, they'll start thinking, they're trying to make it socialist. No, helping people is not socialism.
Right.
Helping people should be a natural outgrowth of the success of a capitalist-driven society.
Absolutely.
Especially those of us that say we're biblical. Jesus came down and hungry people in jail, people, kids, strangers, people that were hungry. I mean, he had an address and a ministry for each of them.
Yep.
So why now is suddenly that all socialism? So was Jesus a socialist? Is that what we're saying?
Yes, socialist tendencies, yeah.
But socialism is not what we're talking about.
No, we're talking about helping people. And they're the beneficiaries.
So when churches get engaged in feeding programs and housing and clothing, is that socialist?
I've heard people say,
or is that scriptural?
I've heard people say that it's a biblical mandate for churches to do this, but not the government.
Well, that's silly.
Absolutely silly.
That's silly. So if the church can't handle it, wait a minute. So watch this. So the government takes no fault for it because the church can't handle it. But the church alone can't raise the money to do it. So we're not going to give you money, but we're going to say it's not our fault.
Right.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
1-866-743. We've got Ava from Utica, New York. We've got Danny from Florida. Let's go to Ava. Good morning, girl. How you doing?
Good morning. How are y'all?
We trying to make it for young and old people in this world. What's happening with the families?
Young and old people.
Yeah.
Nothing we all doing right here.
It's kind of quiet in your house today. I'm not used to that.
Don't nobody usually wake up unless I make them get up to do Saturday chores.
Start playing that music like you did back in the day.
Well, Dad
get up.
said he's taking it over today, so he starts a little later, so he gonna get it popping. I said, let me call the bishop. I haven't talked to them in a few months.
I know. Everything
I
good?
Happy birthday, happy New Year.
Thank
happy
you.
Everything.
Thank you. Same to you.
Merry Christmas. I said, did y'all see that woman who got approved to go to Mexico, even though she was
Did she get approved?
They approved it. Yep.
Yeah.
No.
That girl to go to Mexico.
They approved it yesterday, I think.
She got arrested.
They got an African American guy in jail still.
But listen, ain't it crazy?
And there's other people in their homes on house arrest.
Yep.
Yep. They said it was pre-planned work.
Yeah, but look, the guy that they're holding in jail, he had some plans too.
Yep.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I thought it was crazy.
The
I said,
disparity
oh my
has
goodness.
become even more obvious in the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
It's just it's
yeah.
aggravating to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they don't care. It's just in your face. Just whatever. What are you going to do about it? And what can we do?
I want to know if a Democrat or some other ethnicity said that the shootings at the schools didn't happen, that no plane ever flew into the Pentagon, that they wanted to literally kill, had AK-47, 3 pictures of Democratic leaders on the wall behind, like a hit list. How do you get in Congress, much less get on a committee?
Absolutely. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then once they discover it, how do you stay in Congress?
Mm-hmm.
The committee assignment to me is nothing.
Yeah, she still got influence.
Well, but she came out talking about they shouldn't give a person like me this much time now. I don't have to be worrying about committees. I can do my thing.
Oh, she's probably gonna do more craziness.
They should have thrown her hips out of Congress.
They are going to do more because you gave them open way to act and do as they please without being accountable.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you don't raise a family like that. You don't have businesses like that. But Congress is like become lawless.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm.
They're fining people $5,000 because they're insisting on bringing guns on the floor.
Guns in the floor, yep.
It shouldn't even be a question. I mean,
they don't question anybody getting on the airplane.
Well, now.
That's all I'm saying.
yeah, I'm with you.
And they need to arrest them when they come on the floor. That's what they need to do.
Yeah,
because
should.
you can have a permit to carry at home.
Yep.
That's not necessarily a permit to carry
Yep.
in D.C. And even if you have one in D.C., there's some buildings you can't come in with a
I
weapon.
was about to say, mine says there's buildings that you cannot go into while you're carrying. It says it's on my permit.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So,
Ava, you got a
I
gun?
just wanted to call and say
Ava, they gave you a permit?
I have a permit. I've had a permit for years.
Girl,
Bishop?
I need to talk to your husband.
My husband got a permit.
I don't mind him having one.
Right. It's you.
He can have one that I can't.
Yeah, no, I'm scared.
Listen, I got a whole bunch of cute little holsters, that.
Oh,
over here.
Lord have mercy.
We get fresh when we go out.
That's that northern New York spirit. I can feel it.
I was about to say that's that central New Yorkness. Don't worry about it. I was afraid of guns when I lived in Jersey. My mom said only hood people carried guns, so I stayed away from it. Then I got up here and realized I was the only one that didn't have a gun. I said, that can't happen.
So you had to go get one, huh?
You had to go get me one, yes. I love y'all. And
Love you
I
too.
appreciate y'all.
Thanks for calling us
Have a
today.
nice day.
Talk
Yep.
to you.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Let's go to Danny. Hey, Danny, how you doing, man?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing this morning?
Man, we trying to make it, man.
Okay, Pastor Nick staff.
Hey, man.
Yeah, we're doing all right. How's everything in Florida, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. I just want to, you got me confused. I see you guys are ganging up on me. I can't figure out what's going on up there as far as the weather is concerned.
We both got sweaters on.
Well, I decided to go retro today. This is a sweater, what they used to call this a blah back in the day.
Oh,
So
okay,
I went retro today.
Okay,
I said,
Pastor Nick.
let me go back 30 years and see what's happening.
You know those sweaters are worth a lot of money now, right?
Of course they are.
People are reselling them bad boys and buying them now.
Of course they are. What they selling them for?
Bishop.
I'll talk about that.
Okay.
I sold one a couple years
That's
ago.
where you sell stuff on all the time.
But one of those, they came back in style.
Yes,
and
sir.
The price for them started going back
I
up
know,
again.
they were high when they were out first.
Yep.
And I got a bunch of them Coogies too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, coochies are back up.
I'm sure they are.
Well,
Sorry.
I just wanted to say that the political atmosphere that we have here in Florida, it's amazing how they try to brush and paint a different picture of exactly what's going on as far as the pandemic is concerned. The governor, for the last 2 weeks, he's been going all over the state in certain areas,
Yeah.
giving out vaccines, and trying to present a picture to anyone that wants to come in to the festivities this weekend that everything is fine. But people that actually live here, they're in fear that was backing a certain party because they thought that the virus only picked certain political groups.
Did they really think that?
Yes. Because until it happens, and I've seen this on the job, where it happens to them, then reality sets.
Yeah, it's not real until it lands on their front porch. I know.
Yep.
And then they see the reality of it, and then the way that the governor presents things to them, they see the false attitude and the falseness of the whole situation, and they've been exposed. So when they try to come back with something else, it won't happen because their eyes have been opened as to how exactly they feel. Because the medication that they were promised is not here.
Oh,
it's
really?
only going to certain people.
I understand you had people flying into Florida from out of the country to get the vaccine. How did they jump the line, as we used to say?
Because of the fact that the way that the governor is distributing it, he wants certain companies like pharmacies and certain food stores to administer the vaccination. So if you have certain people and everyone has their hands in there, you have a lot of corruption. And then, guys say, well, let me take this for my family, my friends, and what have you. You have that type of situation that's going on. So therefore, they're arguing about how much was actually sent to Florida. He's claiming one number, the government is saying another number. So you have the numbers do not add up.
Well, they had the same kind of story in Philadelphia. I understand the medical director put a 22-year-old over the vaccination process. And he was vaccinating all his friends and carrying 10, 20 vials out of the clinic in his hand. And they caught a hold of it. And people that were supposed to be getting saved were not getting saved. And then they turned it over to an organization which had already proven that they could handle this kind of public. African-American woman is the head of it. And she had done a lot of testing and done it very efficiently all over the city. So now they made her head of it. Well, she should have been ahead of it first, but for a 22-year-old to get it without any experience at all, that was a political connection and a relationship, and the medical director for Philly had to resign.
Jeez.
But that's clear, that's somebody knows somebody knows somebody.
Yeah, of course.
Give it to my son.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. You guys staying safe down there, Dan?
Yes, Bishop. Yes, we thank you for everything that Bethany has been doing, and just been uplifting for us to feel good. And a lot of my friends are viewing in and taking hold of your program and everything that's going on. So you should hear a lot of people from Florida now, really catching on to what's happening.
We appreciate all the help you can give us, Dan.
We appreciate you.
Now, who you picking tomorrow, man?
Well, believe it or not, people in Florida, they do not like Brady because of the fact that he played for the Patriots, who is an arch villain to us as far as the conference.
Okay.
So, and then we see the way that he has the liberty to go from one place to the other. And then Winston was put out. When he brought in, he got whoever he wanted to play for him. So we're going with the Kansas City.
Yeah, well, Jameis was a problem. You know that, right?
He was.
I mean, I've been following him since he was in college, and I was a big fan of his, but he just can't get out of his own way, man. It looks like he's settling down with that public stuff finally.
Yeah, the Saints really helped him out. He said he's matured since being there.
He probably had no choice.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the way that football in the South is, you put on a pedestal, you give them freedom to do whatever you want to, and that's interbred into football players that they can go, and basketball as well, as to whatever they want to do. And that's what happens when they get into college and they're not going to classes. And then when they get hurt, they put them out because they can't fulfill the scholarship because of the grades.
Yeah.
So
But they're under the impression that they're going to have somebody to help them with their grades.
Yes.
Take the test for them. Do all kinds of things, and all they really went to school to do was play ball for a couple of years and then go pro. But it's a major dream for a lot of people, especially inner city kids, or kids from struggling backgrounds, and that's not an ethnicity thing. It's just a economic circumstance thing. But it's a major dream for a lot. But some of them never get back to their education.
Yeah, never. Well, we had one guy around here locally that passed through school, couldn't read.
Yeah, oh yeah.
College.
Oh yeah.
Passed through.
Oh yeah.
Got to the pros, didn't work out. Now kind of back to doing some other stuff.
Yeah.
You keep passing them through, they have nothing to go back to.
Yeah, I know. Danny, thank you, man.
Thank you, Bishop.
Tell sis I said hello, please.
Will do. Y'all be blessed.
All right, bye-bye now.
All right, man.
Thank you.
866-743-8267, 866-743-8267. Kiefe is on the line, and some others are coming on. There's an anonymous coming on. Do we want an anonymous call today?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Announce yourself.
Yeah. You need to announce yourself if you're going to come on. Yeah. Now, the executive orders that the president has, a flurry of them.
Yeah, he's a lot of
them. I think he's in an untenable position, because had he not done anything, they would be killing him for that.
Yep.
Now that he's getting some things started and reversing some policies that have not been good, he's getting heat from that.
Yep.
Not just from the conservative news people, but from the liberal news people. So I'm looking at the news. I'm like, all right, the guy's been in office less than a month. You want to give him a minute?
Yeah.
Can you just give him a minute? I mean,
no patience.
And we saw a flurry of our past president, flurry of executive orders, basically reversing everything that he thought Obama did.
Yep.
That was okay. This president comes in, he sees some stuff he thinks is not good, within his authority to do so.
Yep.
Within his authority to do so. Within his authority to do so.
Yep.
The same authority that our previous presidents had. But all of a sudden, Republicans, it's a bad thing.
Yeah. Because he's reversing their stuff, and that's the contradiction of it. But it goes back to the American people, the class lines, American people. This isn't right. Now, McConnell's talking all that trash about y'all passing through all this stuff in Congress when you were the main one driving everything through. Didn't care what Democrats had to say.
Yeah.
Y'all had the majority and just push stuff through. What do you think the other side's going to do? You set a precedent.
But they don't want to live by it.
Yeah, don't want to live by it.
And I mean, one of the most aggravating things to me now in current politics is you can't walk up to me and smack me in the face and say, I want you to take me to lunch.
Yep.
I mean, all of a sudden, now what you wanted to accomplish when you hit me didn't work out. So can we just get along now? No, we can't.
Especially if the tides turn, you're going to go right back to who you were.
Absolutely. They haven't changed.
Come on, you ain't changed.
As a matter of fact, in the midst of saying we want unity, Lindsey Graham and those guys are still showing signs that they have not changed a bit.
Not one bit.
So I don't, we used to call it talking out of both sides of your neck back in the day. I don't know how they can be so blatantly ambiguous and still have credibility.
Yep. That's the thing. But I think they know, McConnell, he knows he's going to get voted back in. So he can just, he's been in Congress for almost 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And they keep electing him and electing
him.
They
got the poorest state in the union.
And he's just,
I mean, the people are voting against their own best interests. He's done literally nothing for Kentucky the entire time he's been in.
Yep.
And I would think, now this is just me, if I'm the most powerful man in the party, there's some stuff coming in my state.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, to be able to show I'm a good congressman.
Oh, yeah. But not maintain the poverty level.
Just so he can have his power to do what he needs to do nationally. But
so I need to be helped. Why did the 9-year-old girl get pepper sprayed in Rochester?
So it's some domestic.
I mean, there's not going to be any answer to that.
No answer. But for those who don't know, there's a domestic situation at the house. The police came over.
Okay.
The girl, 9 years old, she was screaming for her father. They were trying to calm her down.
Okay.
But she's 9 years old.
Okay.
And you handcuff her, and she's distressed and she's crying, and you pepper spray a 9-year-old girl like she's a grown woman.
Yeah.
You have 2 cops there. It's 2 of y'all. Y'all grown. You mean to tell me
Can't handle a 9-year-old girl?
Obviously they've shown us they know how to have restraint.
Yeah.
So
their idea of restraint is a bit over the top, though.
yeah, because it was somebody else. Your restraint.
And I understand she may have panicked based on what she may have seen on TV and heard people talk about, seen on the news. When the police came, I can see her panicking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a few weeks ago. We were running late coming to church to get the kids here for school, and I went to say something to Ray, and I went through a light, and of course the police. I saw him coming, so I pulled over.
Yeah.
He pulled over behind me. He got out, had his hand on his gun, and he doesn't know me.
Yeah.
So but the kid's reaction is what blew me away.
Yeah.
I think Chandler asked me, "Is he going to hurt you?" Ray screamed out, "I'm scared." I said, "Hold on.
Yeah.
It's okay." But their reaction, I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
I said, "Do you mind if I get my credentials out?" He said, "What kind of credentials you have?" I told him. Took them out, gave them to him. He said, "You went through the light." I said, "Yeah, I got a little distracted for a second." But I'm steady having a conversation with him and trying to calm them down.
Yeah.
And what took me was I got a child sitting next to me, a child sitting in the back. He sees them both. And he's still got this hand on his weapon like he thinks I'm getting ready to do something. But the kid's reaction is what really riveted me that morning. And I mean, it wasn't over when we pulled off. It was all that fright.
Yep.
And it took him almost half a day to settle down.
Yeah. And that's real. I mean, I think all of us grew up under some of those circumstances.
Yeah.
Where you're just scared of, because you see what's been going on, how they act, and that's unfortunate. But again, they don't see us let's not generalize.
Okay.
There's a group of them that don't see us as humans.
True.
That see a 9-year-old girl or a 12-year-old boy.
It's not a human child.
Yeah, it's a human child. They're
Or
grown.
some aberration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's worth this level of treatment.
Because to me, I walk up to your car, you got 2 minor kids in there. I think that reduces your threat level to almost nothing.
Yeah.
But, and he seemed almost disappointed that I wouldn't let him escalate. I was like,
just calm.
How are you this morning?
Yes.
Do you mind if I do X, Y, and Z? Children, this is a policeman. Say good morning to him. Hi, you gonna hurt my dad? He's like, I could feel the tension in the situation.
Yeah.
So.
That's crazy.
It was, but their reaction really, it made me sad.
It does, yeah.
It made me sad.
To this day, I'm 39 years old.
Okay.
I am still nervous around certain police officers sometimes.
Well, yeah.
I go into a store, still can't put my hands in my pocket.
Really?
I can't do it. It was ingrained in me since I was young. When you go in a store, don't put your hands in your pocket.
Well,
because they think you're going to steal.
Yeah, that's true.
To this day, if I put my hands in,
Yep.
take them right out.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's still that you never know factor.
Wow. 866-743-8267. We've got 10 more minutes. Let's go to Keefe. Good morning, man.
What's up, Bishop?
How you doing?
I'm good. Happy returns and happy Black History Month, Bishop and Nick.
Same to you, man.
Yeah. I'm listening to your show, and I've been calling you since last month, and I've been listening to the news and stuff like that. I even had something pop up on my phone with these had said the police package, and you're talking about what happened, and I said to myself, it was very, and when you mentioned the 9-year-old little girl in Winchester, I was like, it was wrong. And, I was like, why would they do that to someone who probably wasn't involved in what happened over there? And then, I'm finding that, what Biden is doing. And I'm looking at an article on my phone saying that he wants to go with the $1,400 stimulus check.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think in you and Pastor Nick's words, could happen if it does not go to 1,400, and they're saying 1,000 for, us Americans and stuff like that.
Well, I think the issue is that originally they wanted to do 2,000.
Yes, I do remember that.
These types of negotiations, when they come back saying, "Well, no, we think we ought to send everybody 400." Okay, here's the scenario. So, 40 million Americans, I believe, 30 or 40 million Americans out of work.
Yeah.
Been out of work off and on or consistently since maybe February, March.
Right.
So rent never stopped. I don't care what about they say about moratoriums, because the landlords' bank notes never stopped.
Yep.
So rents never stopped. Food still needed to be eaten. Insurance needed to be paid for. All those everyday things had to happen.
Right.
I know, and you know, that if I've been struggling without income or whatever for the last 8-9 months, that
Right.
$400 is going to be like nothing. $800 is going to be like nothing. $1,400 is going to begin to help. $2,000 will be more of a help, but it's not going to remedy the situation. That's why they're trying to do $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
So, but the people that are opposing these levels of income are not in any jeopardy.
Right.
So they're saying, well, let's give them 400. But then sometimes I wonder, Pastor Nick and Keefe, if there's not some other plot underneath all this.
Of course.
Because the foreclosure market is advantageous for investors and for banks. You get it back, you sell it again. I mean, it's just, there's so many things happening. And here's the problem. It's like with this game thing.
Yeah, the GameStop thing. Yeah.
GameStop thing.
Yeah.
There is no There's no screaming from Wall Street at all when thousands and thousands of people lose their jobs.
Yep.
Thousands of people lose money in the market. There's no screaming about regulations at all. The only time you've heard them scream about we need new regulations because they lost some billions. The working man has been losing billions as long as I've been alive.
Right.
But the system is designed for them to win. It's like a casino.
Yeah.
Casinos are not built to lose money. They're built to make money.
Yep.
So I just think that, a lot of our politicians are out of touch with what people that work every day and have everyday needs have to do.
Yeah.
They've got the best health care in the world.
Right.
Paid good.
They've got good job security for a while. They get paid really well.
Right.
You and I have to go maybe to the neighborhood hospital. They go to Walter Reed.
They get insider trade. They get trading tips inside.
Oh yeah, inside trading tips. Because name me another discipline where everybody comes out a millionaire except for the minority members.
Oh, that's a tough one.
They all come out with money except for the minority members.
Right.
Minority members are still hiding their money in freezers and stuff.
That's true. That's true.
But there's a system in there. They've got a system for the harassment of the young people in there. They got a slush fund for it. They got a process. Taxpayer money. Let's put this money aside over here for the lawsuits, not just in case we have one.
For them.
That's for the lawsuits, not just in case we have one.
That's true.
That's
true.
I don't know, man.
My last comment and a question I thought, and I'll make it quick. My one thing is this: how do you think that what's been in the last year or so with this pandemic that we're in, all the violence, and plus I'm going back to the riots that happened last month, and with number 45 trying to get. I heard recently, and I just heard yesterday about his impeachment trial starting this month.
This week.
How would things like this affect him? But he's saying now, from what I hear, he's had his lawyers quit and then had to hire new ones. How do you think that turnout will be, even if they still go through with this coming up this week?
Well, there are a few people that think that negative publicity is good for them, and I believe these guys have taken the case, knowing full well they don't have much ground to stand on. So their basic premise is this: he murdered somebody while he was in office, and since time ran out on the clock, they're no longer dead, and he no longer killed them. That's not how the law works.
Yeah.
So to say he's committed a crime, but the expiration date on the crime was while he was in office, that doesn't work. The whole point of this, you can't say the office protected him from persecution or prosecution.
No, it doesn't.
And then when he gets out of office, say he's still protected from it because he was president. No. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. So I just think that a lot of the contradictions in government are about to be seen, and I think the who determines what is about to be on display like never before.
Right.
Unfortunately and fortunately, it's needed at this time. And without consequences, there can be no unity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's true. I agree with that.
Man, we got to go.
No problem, Bishop.
Who you picking tomorrow? You watch football?
Yes, I do.
And
I'm going to, of course, Kansas City.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. 1-866. We're about out of time. Now, you're going to join us tomorrow, 8 a.m., and then we have a post-service.
Oh, I mean, I was thinking. We were doing some post-service stuff. But
Okay.
But do it live 9:45.
8 a.m. and I'll remember this time.
Yeah, 9:45. I got you.
9:45.
I'll text.
Okay.
I got you.
I'll remember this time. 9:45, we have our live discussion tomorrow morning. 10 to 10:45, then 11 o'clock we have our encounter worship experience again. Now don't forget, communion tomorrow at 5:30. Because of Super Bowl, we're moving it up to 5:30 in the evening, and we'll have you out in time to watch the game. So join us tomorrow at 8, 9:45, and 11, and of course 5:30 for communion. Subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and BBC of NJ on your YouTube channel. Remember, faith acts like a thing is so.